What is the Book of Enuma Elish, and is it older than the Book of Genesis? The Book of Enuma Elish is the Sumerian story of creation which parallels similarly to the Book of Genesis. In Enuma Elish, it starts with the creation of heaven and earth on the first day, just like how Genesis 1 verse 1 begins. The creation of mankind is similar as well, as Marduk creates man on the sixth tablet, calling man, my blood and my bone, which parallels Genesis when God says to make mankind in his own image on the sixth day. Just like there are 7 days of creation in the book of Genesis, there are 7 tablets in the book of Enuma Elish. Then that begs the question, which account of creation is older between the two? According to written history, the earliest book of Genesis dates back to 150 BC, found within the Dead Sea Scrolls. The book of Enuma Elish, however, dates back to the 16th century BC, which is 1,450 years older than the book of Genesis. More evidence shows that Enuma Elish is an older account when another Sumerian story shows up. The epics of Gilgamesh describe the Great Flood that parallels the story found from Noah's Ark. In the 11th tablet from the Epic of Gilgamesh, it describes Utnapishtim, who is told to build a boat with specific dimensions to survive the upcoming flood. He enters the boat with all the animals of the field. After the flood, Utnapishtim releases a dove, a swallow, and a raven. This is practically identical to the story of Noah's flood, where Noah also releases a raven and a dove. Since the Sumerian civilization dates back to 6500 BC, it's safe to say the story of Enuma Elish, along with the Epic of Gilgamesh, is older than the Book of Genesis. This would also mean that mankind already existed before Adam came into the world around 4100 BC. As to why the Epic of Gilgamesh and Noah's flood are similar can be answered by rabbinic scholar Robert Wexler. He states, the most likely assumption we can make is that both Genesis and Gilgamesh drew their material from a common tradition about the flood that existed in Mesopotamia. These stories then diverged in the retelling, which means that both stories could be coming from a much earlier source. For example, Lucy from Africa shows that humans existed around 3.2 million years ago. So perhaps the Book of Genesis is a more accurate account, since it is the most recent retelling of the story of creation. It could be possible that the original story of creation got lost over time, and the closest account we have left is now from the recent book of Genesis.